Welcome back, Pro Wrestling Throwdown. I'm your host, Kaleb Blaque. He's your host with the most, Luke the Big Dawg Williams. This week in wrestling history, every single week, we're going to give you a couple of the finer points of something that occurred in this week. Could be back in the 30s, in the heyday of wrestling, could have been a year ago. We don't know. We found a great website. Today's list was just a smorgasbord of pro wrestling. We're going to actually leave a link to that later on where you guys can check that out yourselves so you can make some recommendations for the weeks to come. If you like the weeks that we pick, leave us a comment. If you didn't like it, leave us a comment. Send us an email at prowrestlingthrowdown@gmail.com after you like and subscribe to the channel, of course. Let's get right into it. We picked 3 fine points this week. Sunday, May 2nd, 1999 is All Japan Pro Wrestling's Giant Baba Memorial Show.
Yes.
They did it at the Tokyo Dome in Japan in front of 55,000 people.
Crazy.
And now, most Japanese from NJPW and AJPW primarily don't have a problem selling out the Tokyo Dome.
No.
But man, what a great memorial service for Giant Baba, who was a pioneer in pro wrestling, especially in international wrestling scene.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
What a great feeling to know that many wrestling fans in 1999 came together to celebrate the life and times of Giant Baba.
Yes, most definitely.
High points of that card, though, we got the Road Warriors and Johnny Ace taking on Hakushi, Kenta Kobashi, and Jun Akiyama. Road Warriors and Johnny Ace, of course, Johnny Ace is Road Warrior Hawk's brother? Road Warrior Animal's brother.
Laurinaitis.
I always get that confused.
Yeah, you would know him as John Laurinaitis.
Yeah. He talks like this, kid. It's good Laurinaitis, right?
Oh, yeah. CM Punk made that, man.
The main event of that show, however, is Misawa defeating Vader for the Triple Crown Championship in AJPW. What a match.
Yeah.
That had to have been, man.
Not only mention that, a lot of people would not even know that Big Van Vader was a Triple Crown champion in 1999.
That's right. Vader has such an illustrious career that I don't think people talk about as much.
No.
He was WCW, WWF, IWGP, AJPW, NJPW. He wrestled in Europe. He wrestled in obviously in Asia. He was a champion almost every single place he went.
Yeah.
What a phenomenal... And then, of course, Misawa goes without saying in Japan.
Yeah, I mean, that's neither here nor there.
Those two had to have had what would have been a hard-hitting match that fans would have loved. I think the match was
55,000.
55,000 people. The match went 18 minutes and change.
18 minutes for Vader.
Yeah,
and for this guy.
In the 90s, too.
18 minutes, that's
a match.
That's almost, that's definitely pay-per-view quality. Before we get on to the next show in history, happy birthday is in order.
Happy birthday, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Today is his birthday. Obviously known as The Rock, one of the great one. The great one. Happy birthday, Dwayne. Like, subscribe our channel, leave us a comment, please, and thank you.
Yes.
That would be so cool.
Pretty please, yeah.
All right, this week in wrestling, TNA May 2nd, 2014, the La Crosse Center in La Crosse, Wisconsin, TNA Live.
Ooh, TNA Live. Sure, right.
Sonata wrestles DJ Zeke goes over. ODB beats Gail Kim.
See, now I think that would have been...
Oh, yeah, it was a great match. Kenny King defeats Manic.
Depends on which Manic.
Yep. Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards successfully defend the TNA Tag Team Championships against Jesse and Robbie E.
Okay.
Mr. Anderson and Robert Roode wrestle in 2 out of 3 falls match with Mr. Anderson taking the pin. And the main event of this show was Kurt Angle and MVP taking on EC3 and Magnus. Angle and MVP win with a pinfall. For a house show for TNA in 2014.
Not a bad lineup.
Not a bad card at all.
That was probably around almost the death rattle.
Yeah, man. Kurt Angle and MVP obviously have WB history together. MVP's a great seasoned worker. I'm sure they put on a clinic.
Magnus.
Magnus is great. EC3's great, to be fair. The match that I would have loved to have seen would have been the Mr. Anderson Robert Roode 2 out of 3 falls match.
2 out of 3 falls, man.
What a ridiculous athletic display that would have been.
For a live show.
And Mr. Anderson's a great storyteller.
Oh, yeah.
He's always been a great storyteller.
And to coin the phrase, he was flat when he got that backdrop, I'm just saying. I'm talking to you, Randy.
That's right. All right. The main event, so to speak, today's a great one. May 2nd, 2005. This is on Raw during the Gold Rush tournament.
Okay.
Triple H loses his qualifying match due to interference by Batista. Edge defeats Chris Jericho. King defeats Christian. But those aren't the matches.
So Triple H beat himself, is what you're saying.
Triple H lost his match to the opponent that he was wrestling on that broadcast.
Yeah, to the other guy.
To the other guy. But that's not the match. Those aren't the matches people remember about this Raw.
That's true.
The match that people talk about on this Raw was in the Fleet Center in Boston, Massachusetts. Shelton Benjamin wrestles Shawn Michaels for over 14 minutes.
He sure does.
And takes one of the most iconic super kicks.
I think, honestly, it should still be in the opening of Raw.
There are a lot of out-of-nowhere finishes, but at this time, this was like a mind-blowing display. Shelton Benjamin
just wasn't seen.
Shelton Benjamin gets taken to the outside of the apron. Michaels walks off. Shelton comes in with the springboard. And as in midair he's coming down, Shawn Michaels just throws Sweet Chin Music, catches him in midair, off of his feet.
Fantastic.
I remember watching that match.
It was a fun match.
I remember watching it. I
vividly.
And it's something I'll never forget. Now, thankfully,
and can you believe, what was that, 2005?
It was 2005.
Can you believe that was 15 years ago?
Oh, man.
It seems like it was
yesterday. I can tell you everything about that kick. I could tell you when they come back from commercial break in the second segment, Shelton Benjamin counters a superplex into a belly-to-belly suplex. I mean, there are just things about that match that I'll never forget.
Then that's the magic of Shawn Michaels.
And then Shawn Michaels, just what a beautiful... They both did the nip-up spot, which I loved. Michaels nips up, and Shelton does the stand.
I can see it in my head as we talk about it.
It's such a great match, which brings us to the last segment we do every single week is going to be our wrestling recommendations. Doesn't necessarily have to coincide with the week. It can be just a match that we want to recommend. You'll get stuff from pay-per-views 100 years ago or special matches that happen on TV. It won't all just be WWE stuff. No. I'm going to personally go into my Rolodex and start recommending some of the old territory wrestling matches that I love.
Stuff like that,
absolutely. Yeah. But this week's recommendation is that match. May 2nd, 2005 edition of Raw. If you've got the network, find it on the network, find it on YouTube. Shelton Benjamin versus Shawn Michaels.
It's definitely worth it.
14 minutes and change, but I guarantee you that you're going to enjoy it. Next week, we're going to give a full breakdown of the match, followed by our recommendations for next week.
Go for that match. Stay for the whole show.
Stay for the whole show. The whole show, that whole era of Raw was memorable.
But recommendation-wise, match-wise, definitely.
Yeah. So check it out. That's the rec of the week. Shawn Michaels versus Shelton Benjamin. Let us know what you think of the match. Like, subscribe, leave us a comment below in the comments section, or send us an email at prowrestlingthrowdown@gmail.com. Did you like the Shawn Michaels Shelton Benjamin match? Did you hate it? What did you think of the rest of the Raw?
Let us know.
Do you think our recommendations are stupid? Do you hate his stupid haircut? Anything you need to talk about with us, we're going to read it all back to you if we like them. From the comments, from the emails. That wraps us up on the May 2nd, 2020 edition of Pro Wrestling Throwdown. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Can't wait to see you next week. Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.